Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back in today with another fantasy football video. In today's video, we got Week 8 wide receiver rankings. Now, before I get through wide receivers 1 through 32 for fantasy football this week, Week 8, I'd like to give you guys a word from my sponsor, OverlayDFS.com. All right, guys, so how Overlay DFS works is all you have to do is make 12 simple start-sit decisions. Are you going to go with Russell Wilson versus Deshaun Watson, Jared Goff, or Tom Brady? Who is going to score the most points in that matchup? All you got to do is make 12 picks. It is that simple. So now I'm going to go about how I do it. What I typically do is I like to go for games in here where there are stacks. So say in this game, you see at the wide receiver position, I think DeAndre Hopkins scores more than Michael Thomas, per se. So I go with Deshaun Watson as well. Now you have stacked them. It's like in those other DFS sites where you stack the players. I'm going to stack those players because I believe they are going to do great together. Now, with this, I'm going to make a total of 12 total picks plus 3 alternate picks. Now, the way this works is it used to be a single entry GPP. Now, in these, you can add up to 10 maximum entries, and the top 10% win 9 times your buy-in. It is actually amazing. And then if you hit that beautiful 12 and you can get the progressive bonus in the $2 game of over $3,000. Now, if you're playing in some of those bigger games, the progressive bonus is over $27,000. That is going to be huge for you to hit if you can hit that, and I think you can. Now, you guys are going to come play against me. Come compete with me. Let's see who's smarter, me or you. Likely is going to be you. So let's play together. Let's hit that 12-0 record bonus there, and the stars are going to align, and it's going to be amazing for you. Let's have some fun this week. Check out overlaydfs.com, link down below in the description. You're going to have a great time. Play the rest of the video now. And we are back. Make sure to check out overlaydfs.com, link down below in the description. They are great friends of mine. They are the reason why this channel can keep running, so make sure you check them out. Let's get right into the video. So I got ranked 1 through 12 on this page. My number 1 ranked wide receiver for the week is Mr. Michael Thomas, going up against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Michael Thomas has been phenomenal the last couple of weeks. Whether it is Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Brees, I think Michael Thomas is in for a huge game this week. The Arizona Cardinals defense has not been all that good. Obviously, Pat Pete will be shadowing Mr. Michael Thomas, but I don't think that should matter. I think the sheer amount of volume that Michael Thomas gets will overcome Patrick Peterson and will make Michael Thomas be the number 1 fantasy wide receiver this week. And number 2, we have Mr. Cooper Kupp, wide receiver of the LA Rams, going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. And this is the wet dream matchup for Mr. Cooper Kupp. The Cincinnati Bengals defense is also terrible. You've noticed the trend of the first couple of guys to plan up against some terrible defenses. Cooper Kupp should be in for a huge matchup in this game. The Cincinnati Bengals really have not been able to stop anyone. Like, the Arizona Cardinals defense is at least somewhat okay. The Cooper Kupp is going to absolutely feast against the Cincinnati Bengals. And number 3, we have DeAndre Hopkins playing up against yet another bad defense in the Oakland Raiders. DeAndre Hopkins has honestly had a bounce-back game last week. The beginning of the season, week 1, played great. The last couple of weeks, he's played god-awful, and then last week he had that bounce-back game with Will Fuller now out. I think DeAndre Hopkins is clearly going to go back to being that number 1 target. We saw Will Fuller eat a lot of those targets. I think now the only thing DeAndre Hopkins is going to be eating is those fucking W's, because DeAndre Hopkins is going to lead you to victory this week, my number 3 ranked wide receiver. At number 4, we have Mr. Tyler Lockett going up against the Atlanta Falcons defense. Another bad defense. Tyler Lockett is in for a huge game this week. Obviously, Russell Wilson loves spreading the ball out to everyone. Mr. Jaron Brown, whatever the guy's name is, will get the ball. DK Metcalf. But Tyler Lockett is his locked-in wide receiver 1. He will feed Tyler Lockett when he needs him the most. Tyler Lockett's going to get a lot of work in this game against the Atlanta Falcons. At number 5, we have Mr. Julio Jones going up against the Seattle Seahawks, and he is only ranked at number 5 right now because I'm not entirely sure if Mr. Matt Ryan is going to play. If Matt Ryan is in the game, he may move up past 5. If Matt Ryan is out of the game, he would fall all the way back down, probably out of the top 12 range, and make me a bit worried about starting him. But in this game, right now, with Matt Ryan likely in my head playing, I'm recording this on Friday night, so if something happened, obviously, if they say Matt Ryan's playing by the time you watch this, then you would know that, but I'm recording this video earlier. here. Julio Jones should be fine this week and was ranked number 5. At number 6, we have Chris Godwin going up against the Tennessee Titans. Now, I know a lot of people are worried about the fact that the Tennessee Titans defense is good, but Chris Godwin doesn't give two shits about the fact that the Tennessee Titans defense is good. The Tennessee Titans defense is really good against the run. Their pass defense is okay. I think Chris Godwin will have a momentous and a humongous game this week against the Tennessee Titans. At number 7, we have Mike Evans going up against the Tennessee Titans as well. I put them back-to-back Michael Jordan 96-97 in the rankings here, but Chris Godwin is the clear wide receiver one on the team. I feel so much more confident with Chris Godwin than Mike Evans, but Mike Evans still becomes a top 10 option because of the fact that he just has so much skill. If Jameis Winston could decide to throw the ball correctly into his hands, then Mike Evans would absolutely have a feast this game. At number 8, we have Mr. Julian Edelman going up against the Cleveland Browns, and with Josh Gordon on IR, it is just going to be the Julian Edelman show. Obviously, N'Keal Harry may return. They got Philip Dorsett. They've got Mohamed Sanu, but Tom Brady loves one man. He has a love affair for Julian Edelman on that offense. With Gronk out, it is just the Julian Edelman show. I like Julian Edelman this week against the Browns defense. At number 9, we have Keenan Allen going up against the Chicago Bears. Obviously, the Chicago Bears defense is a rough one, but Keenan Allen has struggled as well. That's why he's not ranked so high, because the Chicago defense really hasn't been playing all that great the last couple of weeks. The 49ers defense, the Patriots defense, both better than them. I think Keenan Allen is in for much of a bounce-back game this week. I think Philip Rivers is very angry and may actually beat the shit out of all of the players on that roster if they don't win this game. So I think Keenan Allen is going to work because he knows his ass is going to get whooped by Mr. Philip Rivers and all 12 of his kids. At number 10, we have Mr. Kenny Golladay going up against the New York Football Giants. And I know Kenny Golladay shit his pants last week. He needs those huggies because he did not play great. But this week against the Giants, he's going to bounce the fuck back straight in your lineup. He's going to play super hot fire against the New York Football Giants. Terrible pass defense. At number 11, we have Mr. Tyreek the Freak Hill going up against the Green Bay Packers. Now, I know there are some reports saying that Pat Mahomes is going to play. To me, right now, as I'm recording this, I don't see any way Pat Mahomes plays. You don't want to risk that with your superstar. You just lose this fucking game with Matt Moore, and you let Tyreek Hill score that touchdown. Matt Moore was still able to throw the ball to Tyreek Hill down the field last game. I think Tyreek Hill will be fine in this game, and I think that with or without Pat Mahomes, he is a reliable guy on your team. Obviously, Demarcus Robinson, Mecole Hardman, both irrelevant now with Pat Mahomes likely not suiting up. At number 12, we have Mr. T.Y. Hilton going up against the Denver Broncos. Now, T.Y. Hilton has been playing pretty good the last couple of weeks now that he has returned, obviously. I think T.Y. Hilton is in for a good game again this week against the Broncos. A lot of people are worried about T.Y. not really performing all that well against the Broncos, but I don't think the Broncos defense is all that good. And what I do know is T.Y. Hilton is very good. They're not going to keep just jamming with the run like they were trying to do a couple weeks ago against Kansas City. They can pass the ball. They can air it out. Jacoby B can air it out. So I think T.Y. Hilton is in for a pretty big game this week. Now we're on to 13 through 24. So if you guys have made it this far in the video, make sure to click that subscribe button down below. At number 13, we have John Brown of the Buffalo Bills going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think this game is John Brown's biggest game of the year. The Philadelphia Eagles defense is cupcake for Mr. Josh Allen. If Josh Allen eventually connects on one of those long balls that he throws to John Brown every single game, John Brown's going to end up with 70 points in one of these games because the ball is getting thrown 60 fucking yards and John Brown is standing 10 yards behind it. If he just somehow gets accurate one time, John Brown will have a huge game. I think this game against the Eagles, John Brown, regardless if he catches that bomb, will be in for a humongous game, a potential top 12 play this week, but I got him at number 13. At number 14, we have Mr. OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., going up against the New England Patriots. Now, he's going to be getting absolutely shadowed by Mr. Stephon Gilmore, so I would be sitting Odell in a lot of situations, but he's ranked so high because he's Odell fucking Beckham Jr. He could catch any ball thrown to him, but who knows if he'll even get that many looks if his ass is absolutely locked up by Stephon Gilmore. At number 15, we have Baby Chark, Baby Chark, going up against the New York Football Jets. And you know who is not going to be seeing ghosts in this game? Gardner Minshew. The only ghost he's going to be seeing is the ghosts of the dead bodies of all the fucking Jets players, because the Minshew is going to absolutely eviscerate this Jets defense. DJ Chark is going to be in for a huge game after having a couple of disappointing games in a row now. I think DJ Shark has a bounce back this week against the New York Football Jets. At number 16 and 17, we have two Rams wideouts. At number 16, we have Robert Woods going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. And Robert Woods and Brandon Cooks have not been performing all that much up to their liking. Obviously, Cooper Kupp is the wide receiver to own on that Rams offense, but they're playing up against a cupcake Cincinnati Bengals defense. I think that Robert Woods and Brandon Cooks can both perform this week, and that is why they're both slotted in to be wide receiver twos. At number 18, we have Mr. Juju Smith-Schuster going up against the Miami Dolphins. I know, Nick, you fucking idiot. Why is Juju not the top 12? He is playing up against the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins defense is fucking terrible. Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be amazing. You fucking idiot. You idiot. All right, that's what you're probably thinking right now. But the fact is, Juju Smith-Schuster has not been productive at all this year. Whether it's Mason Rudolph or Duck Hodges, I am very worried about Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't know who one of those quarterbacks is going to feed the ball to. I honestly think they just run the ball with James Conner about 12,000 times and just get out of there. But obviously the matchup is so juicy that Juju is ranked at number 18. At number 19, we have Mr. Marvin Jones Jr. going up against the New York Football Giants, the 3-touchdown man, I believe, or the 4-touchdown man. He scored so many fucking touchdowns that I completely forgot how many he scored against the Vikings last week. He had a humongous game. I think this week against the Giants, he may be able to replicate it. Obviously not 3 or 4 touchdowns, probably like 1 and 100 yards, but that's good enough to be number 19 and potentially even higher if Kenny Golladay gets his ass locked down like he did last week. At number 20, we have Mr. Courtland Sutton going up against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Courtland Sutton is without Emmanuel Sanders, but he does have that one hindrance on his back, the one monkey on his back, and that is Mr. Joe Flacco. The Elite One plays like absolute garbage the last couple of weeks and the last couple of years of his career. No shots fired there. I like Joe Flacco, but he is not going to be good for Courtland Sutton. I still think Courtland Sutton will be able to eat because he's now the solidified wide receiver one in the Broncos offense, so I think he's in for a good game, but I would definitely temper my expectations for him the rest of the season just because of the fact that Joe Flacco is god-awful. Knock one time if you're with me. At number 21, we have Mr. GT, Golden Tate, going up against the Detroit Lions. Now, that is his former team. This is a revenge game, a revenge setting for Golden Tate. Sterling Shepard right now, reports seem like he is not going to be good to go. Golden Tate is going to have a humongous game in this revenge game. He is going to be looking for that blood of Matt Patricia. He's going to take Matt Patricia's pencil and shove it straight up his goddamn ass and say, fuck you, Matt Patricia. I like Golden Tate this week against the Detroit Lions. At number 22, we have Larry Fitz going against the New Orleans Saints, and he is about the most unsexy pick in fantasy football this week. If Christian Kirk is out, obviously he will have a bigger game. But you just have to worry about the fact that Kyler Murray looked like shit last week, and Larry Fitz is never going to score you 20 points. He's just going to score you 10, 11, or 12 points every single game, and you're just going to be happy with it, and that's why he's ranked number 22. At number 23, we have Mr. A-Rob, Allen Robinson, going against the LA Chargers, and he's not ranked higher, even against a Chargers defense that isn't that good, because of the fact that Mitchell Trubisky fucking sucks. People are calling for his number in Chicago. They're calling to probably get his ass murdered. They're calling up the Chicago Mafia, if that's even a thing, and they're going to go stab fucking Mr. Mitch Trubisky straight in the neck because Mitch Trubisky has not been performing. Allen Robinson, obviously a good wide receiver, so that's why he's ranked so highly, but I think that the quarterback play is going to hinder him this week. At number 24, we have Mr. Calvin Ridley going up against the Seattle Seahawks, and same thing with the quarterback here. If Matt Ryan is playing, he'll be at number 24. If Matt Ryan is out, I would move him back out of the top 24 rankings for this week. Now on to 25 and 32, and if you guys haven't already clicked that subscribe button, like I said earlier, make sure to do that. Make sure you click that like button while you're down there. At number 25, we have Mr. Alshon Jeffrey going up against the Buffalo Bills. And this is a tougher matchup for Mr. Alshon this week. Obviously, I would still start him in a lot of scenarios, but the Buffalo Bills defense is no joke. We saw a couple of weeks ago Tom Brady try to come there, and Tom Brady pretty much almost came up empty-handed, given if Josh Allen was in that game. I honestly think the Buffalo Bills may have came up victorious, but they were not. And I think that Alshon Jeffrey will be okay enough in this game. I think Carson Wentz also plays okay. At number 26, we have Mr. Tyler Boyd going up against the LA Rams. Now, Tyler Boyd has not been performing all up to anyone's liking the last couple of weeks. It's really been the Auden Tate show. He is the much safer option for Cincinnati, but I'm not sure who Jalen Ramsey is going to fucking shadow. Will he shadow Boyd? will he shadow Auden Tate? I mean, they're both okay. I think Tyler Boyd this week definitely takes a dip playing up against a tough LA Rams defense. At number 27, we have Mr. DK Metcalf going up against the Atlanta Falcons, and obviously he's ranked so high due to this cupcake matchup against the Falcons. Given if Matt Ryan is out, I think that the fact is that Russell Wilson will have the ball about 8 million times. Russell Wilson is going to go set some type of fucking record this week, I was reading. So he's going to go absolutely haywire in this game, and DK Metcalf will be the benefactor of that with his binky in his mouth. At number 28, we have Mr. Kenny Stills going up against the Oakland Raiders. Now, I have a fucking huge hatred for Kenny Stills as a Dolphins fan. He never became what I thought he would be. But in Houston this week, with Will Fuller out against a terrible Oakland Raiders defense, I think Kenny Stills, I should say, is in for a pretty okay matchup this week. And he's definitely a flex option that I like deep that you could probably still find on your waivers. At number 29, we have Mr. D.D. Westbrook going up against the New York Football Jets. Now, I know D.D. Westbrook outperformed DJ Chark Baby Chark last week, but I think this week it goes back to being normal. Minshew clearly likes throwing it to DJ Chark more, but I still think D.D. Westbrook has good enough of a game for him to be ranked in the top 32. At number 30, we have Mr. Famous Jamison Crowder going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, hopefully Sam Darnold is not seeing ghosts in this game, and Jamison Crowder could have a productive game. Obviously, he's the safest option on the team because Sam Darnold clearly loves throwing the ball 30,000 times to him. At number 31, we have Mr. Michael Williams, Mike Williams of the LA Superchargers going up against the Chicago Bears. Now, what I know is Mike Williams has gotten a lot of targets in the end zone, but hasn't came down with any of them. We saw last year he scored 10 total touchdowns. This year, he's looking like he's going to hit nowhere near the number. I think Philip Rivers starts feeding him because he realizes how good Mike Williams is, and I think that Mike Williams will end up coming down with one of those touchdowns one of these weeks. At number 32, we have Mr. Robbie Anderson going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I don't love Robbie Anderson, but he's obviously a guy that is a potential number one wide receiver on his team. He's probably the number one. Jameson Crowder's the number two. I just like Jameson Crowder for PPR aspect, the fact that he's just safer because he's going to get more balls thrown his way. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If at any point you ended up enjoying, you ended up having a chuckle, make sure to click that subscribe button. Have a great rest of your guys' goddamn day. I love each and every single one of you guys. Goodbye.